Expert reports for Tajik asylum seekers, human rights issues, and political repression. Hello colleagues, this video is for law firms representing Tajik asylum seekers. I'm Maxim Karitonov, specializing in expert reports for asylum applicants. I'll discuss my approach to analyzing Tajikistan, key human rights issues, and the crucial role of expert reports in asylum cases. What is an expert report? As you know, an expert report is an independent analysis for courts and immigration authorities. It aims to prove the applicant faces genuine threats and can't safely return home. This report supports the applicant's story with objective data. It shows the country's situation and links it to the client's specific circumstances. The expert report confirms the country's context, including political instability, repression, and conflicts. It cites international and local sources to support the applicant's personal risks, showing how country conditions relate to individual threats. This strengthens the evidence base, confirming that the applicant belongs to a persecuted group. It verifies facts using reputable sources like Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, and the UN, formatted to OSCOL standards. I'd like to highlight some of my experience and achievements. In the last 2 years, I've prepared over 100 expert reports that helped asylum seekers. I work with 15 top law firms in the US, UK, and EU. In 2024, I won the Expert Witness Award for Best Migration and Asylum Expert. All my reports meet Supreme Tribunal standards and Civil Procedure Code requirements. I respond to law firms within an hour and prepare reports in 1 week. Now about human rights violations in Tajikistan. Tajikistan faces several systemic human rights issues. Political repression, arrests of activists, torture, religious persecution, especially of banned Islamic groups, restrictions on worship, torture in prisons for confessions, media censorship, journalist arrests, and limited access to alternative information. Women's discrimination, gender inequality, and violence remain systemic issues, especially in rural areas. Ethnic discrimination. Some groups face social and economic inequalities. Corruption in judiciary and law enforcement, influenced by authorities, limits access to justice. Civil liberties are restricted. Peaceful protests are harshly suppressed. The report details all aspects with sources, findings, and conclusions. How do I work on Tajikistan reports? I usually prepare expert reports based on instructions from major law firms in the US, UK, and EU. The questions they ask me typically cover Tajikistan's current political climate, including opposition repression, threats to banned religious groups, risks for activists and independent journalists, threats to minorities, women's rights and protection from violence, internal relocation possibilities, safety for applicants, threats to peaceful protesters, and how I create an expert report. Creating a report is meticulous work requiring careful attention at every stage. I usually start by examining all documents submitted by the applicant. These can include statements, evidence, interviews, and refusal decisions. My job is to identify key facts and evidence to strengthen the applicant's case. Next, I research the situation in the country of origin. I use credible sources to gather current info on the country, focusing on safety threats to the applicant. It's crucial to show how the country's situation relates to the applicant's story. Then I analyze specific risks if they return. My conclusions always cite reliable sources for objectivity and credibility. Of course, I pay close attention to meeting all standards. All my reports strictly follow the guidelines set out in the practical direction. Supreme Tribunal on Expert Evidence. Each report has a truth statement confirming data is from reliable sources and opinions are my professional judgments. All my reports meet established standards. I always verify the accuracy of facts and the validity of my conclusions. My fee doesn't depend on case outcomes, ensuring objectivity in my work. Additionally, if needed, I'm ready to testify in court about the situation in the applicant's country of origin. How to request a report? If your clients need an expert report, contact me at info@thehumanrights.com. Reports can be paid via legal aid, making them free for state-supported legal aid cases. Flexible payment options are available for private requests. I work with applicants from Tajikistan and other post-Soviet countries like Armenia, Azerbaijan, Belarus, Georgia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Moldova, Turkmenistan, Ukraine, Uzbekistan, and Russia. An expert report is key to influencing a case's successful outcome. It proves threats and boosts applicant credibility with courts and immigration authorities. I'm glad to help you and your clients seek justice. Thank you for your attention. See you soon.